Hello and welcome back to the World Pipelines podcast, a podcast series for pipeliners. I'm your host, Elizabeth Corner, and in this season of the podcast, I have been talking to different membership associations all over the world who work for the good of the pipeline sector. In this final episode of the season, I'm very pleased to be talking to Alexandra Kostereva, who is Operations Manager at GERG, the European Gas Research Group. Alexandra has a background in energy engineering and economics of energy, as well as policy experience at the European Commission. She's been with GERG since 2019, and she coordinates membership research activities and manages the group's participation to over 15 European-funded research projects.
The World Pipelines podcast is brought to you by TD Williamson. Looking for the safest inline isolation solution on the market? Look no further. The Smart Plug inline isolation system from TD Williamson delivers with double independent energized seals, giving you unmatched protection on every project. From maintenance to emergency repairs, the Smart Plug offers the safety and reliability that pipeline operators depend on. Ready to upgrade your next project? Visit tdw.red/smartplug to learn more.
So, hello, Alexandra. Welcome to the podcast. Perhaps you can start by giving us an overview of the role that GERG plays in Europe's energy research landscape and specifically how it supports the pipeline community across member countries.
With pleasure. So as GERG, we are the European Gas Research Group, a non-profit research association. We actually have over 60 years of history, so the oldest gas research association in Europe. We act as a collaborative platform between industry and academia, focusing on the full value chain of gaseous energy. And the goal of the group is to identify technical challenges and build collaborative research solutions. We collaborate in the pipeline space with international organizations such as PLCI and EPRG for international information and best practice sharing.
You mentioned technical challenges. What are the most pressing technical challenges currently facing gas pipelines in Europe? And then how is GERG helping to address those?
So today, the main issues that are being faced by the sector is the emergence of new energy carriers such as hydrogen and biomethane. And the networks requires retrofitting for these new gases for which it hadn't been designed and built for. So we have a variety of assets. Some of them are old or require different adaptations. So there's a big integrity challenge. So for these different concerns, we run different working groups with identified research priorities. So for us, at the moment, these are hydrogen, biomethane emissions, and carbon capture, utilization, and storage. And we also support targeted R&D projects funded by industry and also by European funds.
And with the growing emphasis on decarbonisation and particularly hydrogen integration, what kind of innovations or adaptations are being explored for existing pipeline infrastructure?
So there is really a variety of research going on to make sure that the infrastructure is ready for a sustainable energy future and clean gases. In the hydrogen space, for example, we're working on a few key projects such as Pilgrim, where we build a pre-normative framework for integrating pure hydrogen into existing networks. Candy, which focuses on how non-steel metallic distribution pipelines handle hydrogen, or the Optics project, which develops advanced fiber optic hydrogen sensors to improve safety and reduce potential hydrogen emissions. So these are all from the Clean Hydrogen Partnership Program. And we also work a lot with the European Partnership for Metrology. Metrology, of course, is science of measurement, which applies to a great many sectors. And for our purposes, ensures that flow, sampling, composition measurements evolve with the gases and the systems that we now use.
So GERG works closely with both industry and academia, with both sides of the coin. What's an example of a successful collaboration that has directly benefited pipeliners out there working on the ground?
Thanks for this question. This is one of the value of our work to bridge sectors. I would like to mention here one of our success stories, which was the project on site level methane emissions quantifications, where we had a multi-phase project involving many industry partners to test different providers for site-level technologies measuring methane emissions. So it was an industry-wide benchmarking involving technologies such as drones, cars, and on-site technology measurement and quantification, testing in the field in different parts. This was an industry-led project, but the results of which were analyzed and used by academic partners. So we work with LLCE and the University of Utrecht to guarantee that there is a seen rigor and independent analysis of these results. And we're also happy that the results of this project has been communicated to the European Commission, who even visited some field tests, actually. And so this contributed to the development of the European methane strategy.
That's amazing. Wonderful work. How does GERG ensure that the pipeline-related research that it does translates into real-world safety, measurable sustainability, real efficiency improvements?
So we have, within our membership, we have operators, so mostly distribution and transmission. So this is a strong link with, of course, real-world challenges. So members bring us issues, questions that they may have within their own practice, which we are able to solve jointly by sharing best practices and also, where necessary, building research collaborations that are able to move faster and avoid duplication, so also saving some money for our membership. We also work a lot with the standardization bodies, so feeding them the research and the insights from operators allows us to turn this into operational roles in the field.
We've heard a lot lately about building energy resilience in Europe. I wonder what your view is on how pipelines are being reimagined or reinforced to support that goal in quite a shifting geopolitical climate.
Through the pipelines runs about a quarter of EU energy. So this is a major asset that we need to consider from all sides as operators, as policymakers, as standardization bodies, to help adapt it for the future, ensuring, of course, climate goals, but also energy resilience. Development of hydrogen and also locally produced biogases, biomethane, will contribute to this goal of energy sovereignty from our European context, resilience, and, of course, climate alignment. So as GERG, we are keen to support our membership in their strategies to achieve this clean energy future.
And Alexandra, if you could wave a magic wand or a magic spanner and fix one misconception that people have about gas pipelines, what would it be?
So I think that in the larger public, gas pipelines might be still associated with a very traditional and fossil infrastructure kind of perception, even potentially a negative public perception of it being a dirty fuel. And we are trying also to communicate that this is actually a major part of the energy system that is working towards energy resilience and respecting the climate impacts as well, being repurposed for clean gases, and which will remain the molecules component of the energy system will remain a key tool in net zero transition.
In all your research or travels, has there been a moment where you've stood in front of, I don't know, a pipeline project or visited a GERG member company and thought, yes, this is why I do what I do. This is why GERG does the work that it does?
There's been quite a few very interesting things to choose from for these questions. Field visits are always very inspirational to be able to see the assets in operation, the people who work on them. I've had the chance to visit, for example, a hydrogen safety testing site over in Spade Adam, witnessing a controlled hydrogen explosion that really drives home the importance of hydrogen safety. But what I would, if I had to choose one, I would actually go with a conference moment. I have had the privilege to organize for 3 editions now the GERG Young Researchers Awards, which are hosted alongside the ERGATEC, which is the European Gas Technology Conference. And we run this competition for young researchers aligned with the themes of the conference, which also turn around integrity, clean gases, adaptation of networks. And I think such a moment for me was the very first time we run that session on stage in front of the conference audience. And it was really quite emotional to see those young colleagues presenting their ideas, but especially the reception in the room. You really felt that there was a real interest, a real warmth from the community of much more seasoned professionals to welcome this energy into the sector.
I'm glad you mentioned the young pipeliners because I want to fast forward you into the future. Let's imagine it's 2040. Some of those young pipeliners are still working for us in the industry. What do you hope Europe's gas pipeline infrastructure looks like or is carrying by then?
So hopefully by that time, we would be well on the way for net zero, with networks transporting hydrogen and biomethane. The European Hydrogen Backbone, for example, lays out a roadmap for how the hydrogen networks will develop with projects all over Europe connecting hubs and different communities to hydrogen. Development of biomethane, we hope, is going to continue to boom. With the Repower EU strategy, we were forecasting 35 BCM of biomethane by 2035, but actually recent reports from the European Biogas Association and other industry actors push that to 100 BCM by 2040. We hope that the biomethane networks would be prominent at that point, and of course the pipeline network resilient and continue to be crucial for balancing regional supply and demand, especially during peak moments in network integration with other sources of energy.
And what advice would you give to that next generation of pipeliners or researchers who are coming into this space, especially those hoping to take their turn to shape Europe's energy future?
Yes, thank you for this question. I hope we are joined by many more young professionals in the future, especially in this field, in gas, new gases and pipelines, as of course, we are looking towards an energy future that is quite challenging, and we have to use all our best talent to move towards something that is reliable, affordable as well for the populations, and clean and respectful of the environment. So there will be a multi-fuel future. Electrification, of course, is very important, but we will need people working on the pipelines of the future. An advice is maybe when you're starting, do look for cross-border and cross-discipline collaborations, which is something that is a value of ours at GERG, and it really helps to share ideas and to streamline a lot of the work and challenges that people might be faced with. And hopefully people will be able to join support networks. So this is something that we're at GERG. I know you've had in a previous edition also the Young Pipeliners, which is a great initiative. And yeah, using opportunities to build your network and feel supported in this common goal.
Thank you so much, Alexandra, and for telling us all about the work that's going on at GERG.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was a pleasure.
Thanks to Alexandra Kostereva at GERG for offering a uniquely European perspective on the future of gas pipelines. It's a landscape where so much is changing, so I'm grateful that she could share what GERG is doing to keep apace with and to pursue change. That wraps up this season of the podcast, in which we have learned a lot about pipeline membership associations, from training and research to events and networking to inclusion and community, and all in the name of safety and progress. Many thanks to my gracious interviewees at the PLCAC, the PLCA, the Pipeline Industries Guild, YPI, UPLOCA, UCOPA, AMP, the PRCI, and GERG. Our season sponsor has been TDW, and we thank our lucky stars to have had them supporting and encouraging us. We'll be back with more pipeline-related podcast episodes soon, so please subscribe for free wherever you get your podcasts. If you have enjoyed this episode, please rate and review and forward to a colleague or friend.
The World Pipelines Podcast is brought to you by TD Williamson. Looking for the safest inline isolation solution on the market? Look no further. The Smart Plug inline isolation system from TD Williamson delivers with double independent energized seals, giving you unmatched protection on every project. From maintenance to emergency repairs, the Smart Plug offers the safety and reliability that pipeline operators depend on. Ready to upgrade your next project? Visit tdw.red/smartplug to learn more.